Kohlo, Yahweh, Basham, Yahushai, Basham, Rakakdash. Double honours to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, as well as honour to the men under the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalawam to the elected, those who hope to be of that number. This is a video from the brother locksmith prophets of doom. This is one of his channels. I'll leave the link to this video in the description box.
First and most immediate need for a robot is to be able to manipulate these threads and insert them into the brain.
So the implant is kind of like this little puck of the secret sauce active electronics, and the electrodes are these tiny little flexible threads that each at the very end have multiple little electrodes that if you get those electrodes next to a neuron, they can record what that neuron is doing.
The nature of the device that we're implanting and the way that we're implanting it allows for minimal reaction of the brain tissue to our device to increase the lifetime. In order to do that, the devices are extremely fragile.
The threads that we insert that contain the electrodes are tiny, sort of on the order of 50 microns wide, 5 microns thick, 20 millimeters long. So if you take one of them and sort of toss it into the air, it'll sort of float off like a piece of hair.
And those tiny little flexible hairs are too small for a human to handle, even with tweezers, and that's where the robot comes in.
Computer vision and software, essentially high reliability software, is really important. We've gone from not really being able to track the moving brain, which is critical for humans because the human brain moves a lot, to having this OCT based system that essentially gives us this 21 hertz real-time view of a 3D volume of the brain that we're looking at. What you're trying to do is very fine computer vision tasks and movement tasks to grab these threads. It's an extremely hard engineering problem.
I would say the next big goal for the robot would be to make it so that there's minimal neurosurgeon interface, that a neurosurgeon can walk in and talk to the patient, make them feel comfortable about the procedure, walk them through exactly what's going to happen, and then essentially click go. And the robot will be able to figure out exactly what the specific topography of the patient will be, target the areas, and take the surgery from the patient coming in and sitting down to them walking out of the door that same day.
If we make this so automated and safe and fast that anyone can get it, even the idea of really fast keyboard and mouse for myself that I don't need to use my hands for is super alluring.
I'm excited for the robot to help the human patient restore someone's motor function that they lost. That would be super cool. Over the last 3 years, Neuralink has felt like it has grown from a garage project into a real product.
Not only do you get to work on robots, but you also get to interact with other people who don't typically use robots.
I knew nothing about neurosurgery before coming to Neuralink. I can come in as a robotics expert and know that there are neurosurgeons here, neuroscientists here, who essentially can act as my knowledge base for neurosurgery and neuroscience. That's why I think it's the place to be.
Alright. Again, link in the description box. Alright, yeah. Now, when you write Elon Musk on the Google search bar, you use the search engine Google, you write on the search bar Elon Musk, go to the news tab, you start seeing stuff like Elon Musk says he has wired up a monkey's brain to play video games with his mind, and he has it through his company. Elon Musk developed a Neuralink mind-reading chip with monkeys. Either one. Although, I prefer the Times a little bit more. Elon Musk developing Neuralink mind-reading chips with monkeys. Ignore this. There are many ways in which the world's richest man, he's not even the richest, the International Bank and Families of Esau make this guy look broke AF. Elon Musk has decided to wire up a monkey's brain to see if it can play video games with his mind. Musk, the chief executive at Tesla and SpaceX, said that he was one step closer toward designing a wireless chip that would allow humans to control and compete with their mind. He said that Neuralink, a company founded in 2017 to develop ways of connecting human brains to computers. That's what Neuralink was founded on. It was a company founded in 2017 to develop ways of connecting human brains to computers. Had begun work on installing mind reading chips in monkeys He put some brain chips in pigs back in 2020. And the experiment then was successful. And this experiment was successful. Installing a brain chip inside a monkey to enable it to play games with its mind. Video games, to be exact. That requires some sort of subscription. Sorry about the switch of the articles. Elon Musk says he has wired up a monkey's brain to play video games with his mind. He's a happy monkey, claimed the billionaire. The company Neuralink invented the coin-sized brain sensors. Elon Musk says the technology could ultimately be used to treat people with brain and spinal injuries, and that's how they're going to be pushing the mark of the beast. Okay? Oh, we could treat you of deafness, it could treat you of blindness, hell, it could treat you of paralysis, and people are going to be enticed. They're going to be persuaded. That's going to cause them to take the mark of the beast. And their loved ones, if they're suffering any of these conditions that supposed to be treated with this mark of the beast, they're going to take it. Because these people who don't have your Hatubashima Shai, they're going to be more willing to take the mark of the beast. Elon Musk, the billionaire chief executive of Tesla SpaceX, claims another of his companies has wired up a monkey's brain to play video games with his mind. Neuralink Corporation, which Mr. Musk owns, previously claimed to have implanted, this is what I was talking about, coin-sized wireless sensors inside the brains of 2 pigs, describing the sensors as a Fitbit in your skull with tiny wires. Yeah, there was 3 pigs. 1 didn't have any brain chip. 2 had a brain chip installed in them. In a speech on the private social app Clubhouse on Sunday evening, the entrepreneur said Neuralink has a monkey with wireless implant in their skull with tiny wires, which is testing its technology, bringing the mark on their hand or in their forehead. Neuralink had previously unveiled a pig with a computer chip in its brain. You can't see where the implant is, and he's a happy monkey, Mr. Musk added, before stating that further announcement would be made in the coming months. The billionaire told people on the call that an inspector from the US Department of Agriculture described the company's laboratory as the nicest monkey facility they had ever examined. We went the extra mile for the monkeys, Mr. Musk said. One of the things we're trying to figure out is whether we can have the monkeys playing mind pong with each other. That would be pretty cool. It's crazy. Nevertheless, the scriptures. Revelation 13:16 through 18. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that hath the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Revelation 13:16. And he causeth all, everyone, both small in status, your average Joe, a nobody, and great athletes, social media influencers, they're great in status. Rich and poor, that's self-explanatory. To know, interestingly, regarding the rich and poor, by the time Esau calls us all to take the mark of the beast, there will be no middle class, because the middle class would have been completely done away with. As we are speaking, in the name, under the guise of crown, and in the name of crown, all the middle class is being decimated, and it's nearly done away with. So, and he causeth all, both small in status and great in status, rich and poor, free and bond, able to travel around freely and bond in prison, to receive a mark the mark here is a physical mark in their right hand and their foreheads. You go into the word for mark, and you get a word called charagma in the Greek.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
And you saw it made mention of the thing in the forehead, because that's what that brain chip is going to be. It's going to be something placed inside your mind. But if you were to use like an X-ray, it looked like it's on your inside your forehead. I don't know exactly how it's going to be, but the brain chip is something that goes against the scriptures, and it looks like it's fitting the mark of the beast prophecy. Charagma, a stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Hamashiach. Now, Scripture saith in 1 John 2:18, even now there are many antichrists. Oh dear. Anti-Hamashiach is anyone who's against the ways of the Lord Yahushua. You're an Old Testament Israelite, you're anti-Hamashiach. You don't believe in the names Yahweh or Yahushua, you're anti-Hamashiach. You're a heathen, you're of the other nations, you're anti-Hamashiach. You're a wicked Israelite, you're anti-Hamashiach. And so on. 1 John 2:18. Little children, it is the last time. And as you've heard that anti-Hamashiach shall come, even now are there many anti-Hamashiachs, whereby we know that it is the last time. Going back to the word charagma. Charagma, a stamped imprint mark of the mark stamped on the forehead of the right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Mashiach, the mark branded upon horses, thin carved sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. He is going to become your god if you take the mark of the beast. Charagma, a scratch or etching. Yes, your skin has to be scratched. It has to be cut into in order for you to take the mark of the beast. Stamp as a badge of servitude. Yeah, you're going to be a slave of E. You're going to be ultimate slave. You're going to be a total slave to E if you take this. They're going to carve into your skin. Okay. And he causeth all, both smaller status and greater status, rich and poor, free, able to travel around freely, and born in prison, to get a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. You read Revelation 14:9-11. It mentions the punishment for those who take the mark of the beast, and it doesn't mention right hand, it just mentions it in their hand or in their forehead. So either the right hand or the left hand. Also Revelation 24, when it mentions the elect getting victory over the mark of the beast, so what have you, they didn't receive it in their hand or forehead. That's another scripture showing you it's either hand. And that no man might buy, Revelation 13:17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that has a mark on the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. 666. And when you check out 666, it's the universal product code. You have that on every barcode on earth. 6 in the front, 6 in the middle, and 6 at the end. Also, Kai Kai stigma. The stigma is a mark of disgrace. And yes, Apostle John had a vision of people receiving the mark of the beast. Okay? Terms like RFID technology didn't exist, but the vision of people taking it would have, for he saw it. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. Elon Musk has got wired up a monkey to play video games with his mind. The technology, the RFID the mark of the beast technology is being perfected. So yeah, hopefully this video was edifying. Until next time, shalawam.